but what can you say about the valiant effort that your guys gave on the court today?
Well, the good thing about this team, particularly the last third of the season, they became mentally tougher. As we started to face teams the second time around, we played them tougher, we played them differently. They allowed us to make adjustments. And I felt like they really grew up as a team to take a team that was a Final Four program, beat them in Pullman, and have them on the ropes to beat them again here, let alone Stanford at Stanford, Cal at Cal, the Utah game, the Colorado game. We played some outstanding basketball coming down the stretch. So we made some mistakes in this game, but we did a lot of good things in this game too. At the end of the day, we don't have a Wooten. Wooten made some big plays, two big blocks to win the game for them. Those are big time plays, and I don't have that guy. We got to go find that guy yet. But I'm proud of the way this team battled, and I'm really proud of the way Malachi battled the last third of the season, and just what Drick Bernstein brought to the table. I mean, here's a guy that at study table yesterday went and got everybody's money and went and bought everybody their lunch for them and hand delivered it back to them at study table. You just don't see character like that out of young people. I've never coached a guy that had that ability to do that as a player. And I'm hoping that these guys learn some great lessons from him about character, being unselfish, how to give yourself up. For him to let go of everything he let go of to come here and be a part of this was just huge. So I'm thankful and very grateful for what he did for us. But we turned the corner in some areas. Recruiting is going to be huge for us right now. But I'm proud of the way this team battled, just really battled down the stretch of the season.
That's an Oregon team that's used to scoring 80, 90, 100 in a game, and 17 in the first half. Do you feel like you guys turned a corner defensively as a team in this game?
Best defense we've played since I've been here. We've beaten teams with the zone defense. We've beaten teams with the 1-3-1 trapping defense. I'm sure that shocked them that we could be that good and take a team that athletic and that big and lock them up in man-to-man defense. And again, that shows you the diversity of this team and what they're going to be able to do down the road as we add a few more pieces, as the bodies get bigger and stronger, to be able to do that to a team of this caliber. But with three senior transfers on that team that have scored a lot of points, been a lot of big games, I felt like defensively we were awesome in the first half. We weren't very good in the last probably 3 or 4 minutes of the regulation, and then 3 minutes of overtime. We gave up way too many drives. But yet we were in foul trouble, and it kind of limited us to some things we can do. But I thought that first half was as good as defense that any of my teams have played in a long time.
You've always mentioned that between freshman and sophomore season, it's the biggest jump that a college basketball player will make. What can you say about this jump that Malachi has been in the middle of?
You know, if you think back to last year this time, you know, we were up on Colorado, I think by 19, we lose a game, you know, and lose by a big number. And he was a non-factor. And now here's a year later, he's hitting big shot after big shot after big shot to put us in a position to win a game. That's the growth that took place with him. And at the same time, Robo's growth, even though it's between sophomore and junior, Viante, sophomore and junior, because they didn't play a lot as freshmen and sophomores. Look at the growth those two kids have. I would expect Carter Skaggs, Quentin Henson to have the same kind of growth next year, because this is a program that develops players. Ike Rebu, his development, Josh Hawkinson, Connor Clifford. You saw those guys make big leaps in this program. And now here comes a guy like Robo and Viante and Malachi. You know, and there's some other guys behind them that'll make that jump too between this time next year.
You like the look that Milan got there, going to the rim and having a big
I would have rather Malachi had the ball. I could look at and feel. I tell you why V decided to go that direction versus the other direction, because he has the ability to pull a three in that scenario. Also, it's going to be hard to go score over a shot blocker like Wooten. Prior to that, the turnover to Robo on the press breaker was huge. That's just huge for us. And that the free throw block out, huge. We almost lost a game in Pullman to Oregon because of a free throw block out. I thought we had that corrected, and here we give up another rebound on a free throw. That was huge. So there's just some big breakdowns down the stretch where in Pullman we made the plays down the stretch. They hung in there and made the plays down the stretch this time around.
Was the difference in the second half maybe their physicality? They seemed to get to the rim at will and kind of got a few of your guys in foul trouble and maybe played a little timid?
Those big bodies, the big bodies, they just start driving us, and you know that's where we have to come in the recruiting and the weight room and all of that. We don't have their athleticism, but we felt like we were a better skilled team, so we tried to do some things that way in the first half to make them think more, use their skill set, and we were able to control the game. When they started using their athleticism, spreading us out, we were in trouble a little bit, especially with the foul trouble.
Which, can you read body language from like as a team at the beginning of the year to now? It just seems like there's a difference when it gets to crunch time and when the game is late. Can you tell?
Well, I think, again, as I mentioned, that's the growth the last third of the season where they became much more mentally tougher to where they could hunt teams down and close out games. I mean, it was a team like Colorado, and then where they learn how to get mentally tough. And yet you run into a team that's a Final Four program last year with a lot of success down there, and they're mentally tough. And they made more plays down the stretch, but we grew up in that area, and I told you guys that all year long. This team needed to do that this year, not wait until next year. So it's big that we were able to accomplish that this year, to get mentally tough and understand how to close, play those tougher teams, play mental, tough basketball, yet there's still more growth in us.
The success Robo had, would you expect a guy like that to maybe want to test the NBA waters? And it seems like a player who has the tools to maybe make the jump. But
if he has the opportunity to do that, he should. And we'll know more on that in the next few weeks, because I think the NBA does an excellent job of rating players now. They go through the league and they ask every team in the league to rate players. They come back and give you a great assessment as to whether or not they feel like you should do this, just by the numbers game. And if he's in the ballpark where they say come to the combine and do those things, he needs to go through those things and do those things. Whether he goes or not, that's going to be up to him and his family and everything. But he first has to get the opportunity, and we'll just see where all that goes.